let's get right to it. Nope, that was not the only way. I guess the map again? A killer not wanting his victim to be found, I can understand that. However, the idea of moving the body for that purpose is clearly odd. There was a much easier way to make sure the body wasn't found. Well, what is it? Take another look at the map of the area and you'll see how. There's a river right below the bridge. Earlier, Mr. Edgeworth pointed out something. Didn't they say the girl that he threw into the river 5 years ago was like 14? She would have been around that age. Huh. Anyway, earlier, Mr. Edgeworth pointed out something interesting about the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Here, most bodies that fall in are never recovered. In the kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. But what if she's right here? If 10 murders were to occur at the same spot above the Eagle River, you can bet your boots and every other killer would have tossed the body in the water. Order, order, order. I'm not sure if I care for the way you put that, Miss Fay. But I must admit it does seem odd not to have thrown the body into the river. Ooh. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? How sad. Perhaps Miss Fay would do well to try taking a dip in the river herself. Whoa, man! After all, you claim to be such an expert in the ways of nature. What are you talking about? My point is that no matter how odd you may find the killer's method of body disposal, the fact is that this is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what the witness saw. Quite true. I'm not used to going up against an actual prosecutor because of the rest of this game. I forgot what it was like. But what the witness claims to have seen is totally ridiculous. Surely you can't deny that the body was found in the trunk of the car. It's certainly consistent with what the witness has told us. Please, witness, go on with your testimony. I'll try. All you have to do is tell us what you saw. Otherwise, the mean lady might yell at you again. Who is he talking about? Oh, gee, I wonder. Alright, I'll do my best. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. Oh, I'm supposed to be... Yeah, this is already... Yeah. It's supposed to be pressing and presenting and shit. Well... What could it be then? He broke into the trunk of the stolen... Well, you see... yeah, it was a stolen car. I did see those marks on there, so that might be where he broke in. Couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. I'm sorry, I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw. Okay, well, what about breaking into the trunk of the car? I don't see what presenting that would do. Like, at all. So... Still got her scarf. I'm honestly not entirely sure right now. He picked her up in his arms, carried her over to the car, put her in the trunk. Let me go back to the other statements. Carried her over to the car, stabbed her in the back, and quickly picked her up in his arms. I feel like I'm just gonna have to press, because I'm not really sure. Are you saying the victim didn't fall down on the bridge? Actually, maybe she did fall. Of course she didn't fall down on the bridge. If she had fallen down, this photo wouldn't make any sense. If that was the case, her coat would have been all muddy. If you don't mind, I was asking the witness. No need to be so rude. Well, young lady? Seeing it say Melissa is so weird. Of course she didn't fall down. The man in the prison uniform grabbed her before she could. Really? We're one step too slow. And then what did the defendant do after that? Stabbed her, immediately grabbed her before she could fall. Why? Okay. You personally witnessed that? Yes. Did anything strange happen when he did that? Well, I don't know if you'd call it strange or not, but that's when the victim's scarf fell off. You mean this scarf? Her words match what we found at the scene, I don't see any problem. Dude, I'm not really sure. What did the man do then? Well, naturally, he got in the car and was about to flee. That's when I came to my senses. I said to myself, you have to call the police. And so that's when you called the police. You sure that you saw all that with your own eyes? Yes, I'm 100% certain. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge, and that's all irrelevant, though. Like, it's gotta be about the car, then, but... what? I haven't... Oh, shit, it's the same thing from Case 3. He said he came in the door and he saw him at the table. He couldn't have. Same thing with her. There's like a whole fucking land mass in the way. That's what it is. She couldn't have seen that. Alright, so where should I present that? Here or here? Oh, she doesn't say. Saying that he got in and fled was not part of the testimony. It's just this part, so... Okay, the map. Again, for like the third time. Well, Miss Foster, it looks like you've done it this time. Done what? Made a crucial mistake. A crucial mistake? Like what, Miss Fay? The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. You're saying you saw that, right? With your very own eyes? Yes, and? It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at the diagram. What's Edgeworth going to be like? We have no proof that it was like that 2 days ago. Blah, 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 blah. The place you claim to have taken the photo from that day is here. Do you see what I mean? Even if you tried to see the car. This outcropping of rock is directly in the way. Oh, I climbed it. That's right, Miss Foster. From where you were standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car. I admit that the diagram shows a large outcropping of rock. However, it isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car. That's right. It's not high at all. I was able to see his car just fine. That's badass when she does that. I'm so sorry, but that just doesn't wash. It's like the second time in this game they've said that. I believe it was the witness who presented this as evidence to the court, yes? This is the location that the photo was taken from? Your own photo tells the whole story. Yeah, you can see the thing on the left over there. It's crazy. But the outcropping that is being referred to is really more like a cliff. Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff, but still you claim to have been able to see the killer's car. No. Yep. Order, order in the court. What is the meaning of all this ballyhoo? Is that a Canadian thing? Your Honor, don't jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled in a stolen car was reported on the news. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure you can appreciate that the witness was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it. But she was repeatedly warned before starting her testimony. She was told to testify only about what she saw with her own eyes. Oh. Mr. Judge? What is it? I think I must have remembered things wrong. Hey, wait a minute. You can't just say that. Miss Fay, no one on the face of the planet is perfect. Yes, indeed. Quite true. You know what they say. To err is human, to forgive divine. I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to our witness here. What? That's not fair. Save the tears for later, kitten. Mr. Armando. Don't look back until the trial is over. Now is the time to go forward. But that wasn't fair. Okay, kitten, you need to relax. Then you need to remember. The other kitten's testimony. He broke into the trunk of the trunk, right? She couldn't have seen that. So tell us, how did you know that? How did you know that he broke into the trunk? Oh my god. Well, I mean, she's saying she misremembered. She can just say that about anything. You're going to have a lot of very suspicious people on this side of the courtroom. Well, witness?
Well, I'm certain that he broke into the trunk. Because there were marks left.
Yeah, I did notice that. But how the hell would you know that? What? Let me see that photo. I mean, did she see this photo? Maybe. It's true. They certainly look like scratch marks around the keyhole. Yeah, I noticed that right away. It's obvious that this trunk has been broken open. Well, Miss Fay, are you satisfied?
The judge is on her side. I can't make any mistakes here.
Alright, no mistakes. Gotta go straight for the jugular. But first, I gotta take a little intermission and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Here we go. What she just said, is there a... Oh shit, that was a bad time to take a break. What did she just say? I mean, I assume I'm supposed to be pointing out a contradiction, so I'll say that it doesn't work, whatever she said.
Melissa Foster, it looks like you finally betrayed yourself. What? You said you were in a field taking photos of wildflowers? But even so, you knew about the scratches. The question is when. Yeah, I asked that myself. How did she know that? Finally, I finally got her.
I'm getting pretty tired of waiting over here.
Then perhaps it would be faster if Miss Fay explained herself. Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. The reason the witness had seen the scratches was...
Okay. She happened to be passing by. Well, that's irrelevant. That's not going to be anything. She put the corpse in herself, dude. Or she is the owner of the car. Well, this is a pretty extreme one. I don't know how you jump right to that, but it's the big one, and it's the only one that works for a big dramatic reveal. Yes, what was it?
Naturally, when she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. The person who really hid the body in the trunk of that car was... Melissa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it? That's ridiculous. I could never. It was the man in the prison garb. He's the one that... I don't think so, Miss Foster. If Mr. Falls had been the one that put the corpse in the trunk, he would have simply used the car key. There was no need to break it open. Oh, he did steal the car. Yeah, he did have a key. He didn't just steal it from being parked. He stole it at a red light, which means that he had the key. But he stole the car. See, I thought that was interesting, too, that they specified that it had been at a red light, which was kind of weird. Which means that the key would still have been in the ignition. Oh, I see. Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Miss Foster. Without that, we never would have uncovered the truth. It couldn't have been Mr. Falls that put the body in the trunk. No! Preposterous to even suggest that the witness put the body in there. If that were true, then how do you explain the photo that she took? Was that the photo she took is irrelevant. To that, the corpse could only have been put in the trunk when the incident occurred. And we already know that at the time she was taking photographs. Well, she took a photograph then. Well, she's clearly still alive at that moment. What are you talking about? She took a photograph when she was still alive. So, okay. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, she said the camera had a timer. Fuck, bro. So even though what you're saying I don't think makes any sense, I'm gonna contradict the shit out of it anyway. There's no need to think too deeply about it. What I'm saying is the shutter for this may not have been pushed by Miss Foster herself. Should I present the camera then? I guess. Sure. I don't think you can make a mistake about it. Take a look at her camera. It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. Is a tripod built into it? Is that a thing? Or is she saying it has a tripod? If it was built in, that'd be kind of funny. I don't know, I don't think that's a thing. Like it's one that auto-extends out into a tripod, that'd be cool. Almost as if the camera was brought just to take this picture. What are you trying to say then, Miss Fay? That when the crime occurred, Miss Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed? Well, if she really did use the camera's auto-timer, then the answer is yes, she was somewhere else. I guess what his point was that she wouldn't have been able to get there and then get over to the car, but that's not exactly what he said.
Would the defense please explain further? Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred? In answering that question, we'll also make clear Miss Foster's true identity. Well then, please answer this question.
Which question is that?
Where was Melissa Foster when the incident on the bridge occurred?
Okay. I can't back out of this. Really? That's cruel. I can't look at all the evidence. Because I'm thinking about the note. I mean, he is the one who brought that car there. It was the stolen car. She wouldn't be in it. That doesn't make any sense. So, the only other spots of significance are where the killer and victim are. And if that's the case, what if... No. I don't know, I was gonna say, like, what if Valerie was already in the trunk? What if Dahlia was on the bridge? I don't know why that would... Well, if she never read that note or anything, that's why the scarf would be a different color, because she didn't know about that, I guess. Odd that she knew to wear a scarf, though. Maybe she just happened to be wearing one. But, yeah. Could that be? I wasn't thinking that at all. The only reason I'm thinking that is because there's, like, nowhere else here that they could be. Could that have been Dahlia on the bridge? Did she kill Valerie herself some other time? I gotta go with that. That's the craziest thing, so say it right there. Naturally, the witness was right here.
But that's where the victim, Miss Hawthorne, was standing. Order, 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 Miss Fay, what on earth?
Your Honor, if I may. After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. But this would mean that there was no time to put the victim in the trunk. In other words, if someone put the body in the trunk, it could only have been before. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How asinine. Of course Mr. Falls met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to have put the victim in the trunk is the same man that killed her, Terry Falls. You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? By the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne. What? I've never heard anything more ridiculous in my entire life. Then who exactly is the victim in this photo? It's obvious, isn't it? It's your own witness.
What?
It's the only possible explanation. The woman that Mr. Falls met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster. Me? Let's remember that it was raining and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Falls himself believed that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne.
He didn't remember exactly what she looked like, that's why he wanted her to wear the scarf.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, but he didn't remember what she looked like.
But since then, my client has spent 5 hard years in a federal penitentiary. He couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore. You were just making this up as you go along. I have proof, bitch!
It is nice, though, being against a real attorney so I can get mad at them and yell at them and have fun. Rather than being against opposition that's just kind of, like, lackadaisical. So it's because of the note, which is this one. Phone! Oh my fucking god, again? This is what happened in the last recording session. The phone rang 82 times. Not again, at least it was only one ring, thank you. That's why I needed some piece of identification, namely this muddy scarf. It was Mr. Falls who requested that she wear this scarf to identify herself.
That's already been proven by the note the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing a scarf like he asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. So she did know about the scarf thing, and she just got one that's the wrong color anyway? Maybe the wrong color thing doesn't matter. No! She's dead. I killed her. Her, character in Case 1 was a ghost. Where's Miss Foster? She's collecting herself in the lobby. It's obvious that Melissa Foster did it. So is she really... Is Hawthorne her real name, though? Is she really related to her? Or is that, like, what the hell's going on there? She kill a relative? What the hell happened? She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them. And why? Why all of this? I mean, obviously, like, something about what happened with his original case. She was probably that girl, I guess. She was involved. But, like, what was that all about? The only question is, why did she do it? Well, isn't that obvious? She's the true criminal. Mia. Come on. What? Well, we'll have to wait for Miss Foster to compose herself before we start again. Until then, this court is in recess. The defense and the prosecution are instructed to wait in the lobby. Yes, Your Honor. Understood. Very well, this court is in recess. Okay, well... I'm curious what this is all going to lead to, not only in this case, but in the next one. So, take a break there. Thank you for watching, and then I'll see you guys next time.